everyone, my name is Amber, and I'm the Youth Services Assistant at the Boyle County Public Library, and today I'm going to be giving you all a rundown of the tabletop game, Dungeons & Dragons. Whether you've watched a ton of D&D streams and are ready to run your own game, or you've never seen a role-playing game in action, this 5-part video series will help you figure out where to start. This first video will just be an introduction to all the parts of D&D. Episode 2 will teach you how to play, Episode 3 will be about making characters, Episode 4 will teach you how to be a DM, and Episode 5 will be a wrap-up with a Q&A. It can be daunting, but there are so many resources out there for new D&D players. One of the great things about D&D is that you only really need a copy of the rules, some pencils and paper, a set of dice, and your imagination. Wizards of the Coast put a PDF of the basic rules online for free. Of course, if you want to go all out, you can purchase a starter kit and the physical copies of the books, which we also have available for checkout at the library. To run a game of D&D, you need to have a DM, which stands for a Dungeon Master. This refers to the player who acts as a narrator, antagonist, and guide to the rest of the players in D&D. As a new DM, it is usually easier to run a pre-existing adventure rather than immediately coming up with your own story. Luckily, you can find a wide variety of pre-made adventures scattered across the internet for free. Once you've decided on your adventure and assembled your players, you're ready to get started. You'll probably spend the first session creating characters together, discussing your characters' relationships to each other, and setting the scene for the adventure. I highly recommend talking about what kind of game you'll be running. Do you want to run a serious, by-the-book campaign? Or is there room to get silly and loose with the rules? Neither option is necessarily better, it's just a matter of preference. When you start running your adventure, you'll probably be referencing the book a lot, and that's totally fine. A Dungeon Master screen can help here. It does double duty since it hides notes and die rolls from players, and has handy references to the stats and rules you'll be most often using while playing. Once you start getting into the game, you may find that the dungeon crawls and combat simulations are a lot easier if you can visualize everything. That's where different types of maps and minis come in. If you don't feel like drawing, painting, or 3D printing your own maps and figures, you can just pick up a dry erase adventure grid and some dry erase markers. I promise, playing D&D gets so much easier the more you practice. It can feel awkward in the beginning, but as long as you have a good group, that awkwardness can fade away quickly. The game is as much about relationships as it is about fighting monsters, so make sure that the people you bring with you to your table are people you'd be willing to get trapped in a dungeon with.